it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2021 general readings. We are looking at the first half of May, so from May 1st through May 15th, and this reading is for the water sign of Cancer. Welcome everyone. Hope you're all doing well wherever you're at. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, for watching any of the videos, which is a great support for my YouTube channel. Thank you for all that you do. Your likes, your shares, hitting that subscribe button, it really does help. Donations, comments, feedback, reaching out for personal readings, all welcome and appreciated, and many blessings back to you for it. So this reading is for the water sign of Cancer for the first 2 weeks of May 2021. That's if your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign is in Cancer. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for a Cancerian. Of course, being a general reading, it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone. So watch all of your signs if you know them for additional insight and perspective. If you find that any of the readings do resonate with you, you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, maybe take a deeper look at something, you can click on the little arrow below, the little description link for contact details. You'll see my email address there. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from you. I can usually respond within the same day with more information. I do offer a wide variety of readings, and I do readings full-time. It's all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at trying to schedule those personal readings as quickly as possible. So email me if you're interested. All right, Cancer. Let's see what the first 2 weeks have in store for you. I am using Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with, I believe it's Gateway to the Divine Tarot, yes. Okay, Cancer. All right, Cancer, we begin with Strength, followed by the Seven of Wands. Wow, them's defending, standing firm, not backing down, almost fighting energy there. Not really fighting though, just defending. The Six of Swords with Death. The Hermit. With the King of Wands, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. And from the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Coins as overall energy. Let me pull one more off the bottom, and the Ten of Coins. So the two from the bottom are the overall energy for the first 2 weeks of May, Cancer. For some of you, the Queen of Coins, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, might be another person that's somehow relevant or influential, or what the focus of this 2 week period of time is. For others of you, it's just your general energy and what you're focused on. And this is focused on stability, period. Because the Ten of Coins, which accompanies it, is long-term stability and security, which the Queen of Coins is the queen of. This is somebody who she likes things in their place. She doesn't like to worry too much about the future, especially with the Ten of Coins. This is about long-term stability and security. It's about having enough money in the bank that you know you're going to be okay for quite some time. In terms of emotional or relationship energy, this is being in a position, and this is your focus, and this is what you're grounded in. Being in a position where you don't have to worry about the security and stability of your future, whether it's financial, material, emotionally, or some combination of all of those things, because it feels like there's a relationship perhaps central here for some of you, or some other kind of situation which you may have to leave behind because it's not providing you with a sense of long-term security. If it's a relationship, if this resonates as a relationship reading for you, Cancer, your focus is on not having to worry about where this relationship is going, where it is, where it's going. If you don't have that kind of commitment, you don't want to have to worry about, where's this relationship going, are we on different pages? You don't want to have to worry about that. You want to have things set. That's kind of what the general energy for the first 2 weeks of May is. And you're not willing to back down on this. And I think that's good. And that's quite obvious here with Strength and the Seven of Wands. Strength is about facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, your worries, your shadow self, meaning you know, facing your shadow self means looking at yourself with a completely honest, pair of lenses, which can sometimes be difficult. If I'm not in a happy situation, how did I contribute to my being in this unhappy situation? And it's also about facing what you're afraid of, and not backing down from that. And here, for example, if this is a relationship reading, or it might be a work, career, finance reading where you're in a job where you're not getting paid enough, you're not advancing the way that you want to, and your focus is on long-term stability and security in that work relationship or in that romantic relationship. And even though, and not having to worry, not just getting promises which never end up being fulfilled, or getting a response from your boss or whoever's paying you, or your relationship partner, well, let's just take it as it comes and let's see how it goes. It's not enough for you. You want things more stable. You don't want to have to worry so much about the future. And you're willing to stand by that, this defensive energy, because it's something you really believe in, even if it means you have to move on to something else, which could be a fear here as well. I feel like a lot of you are actually considering that, and some of you may be in the process of doing that, leaving a job, looking for another job, leaving a relationship, or maybe planning to, because you need healing. You need to move into a place where you don't have to worry, which is what the Six of Swords is about. It's a card of healing, and we all know that healing can be difficult. I mean, when you look at physical healing, say that you have surgery, the initial days of healing can be tough. There are good days and bad days. There are good hours and bad hours. But slowly but surely, you're moving towards a place of stability and harmony and health. You're moving away from waters which are choppy and muddy, and you're moving into waters which are more calm, placid, and serene. Regardless of whether this might be a career or work or money situation or an emotional romantic situation or some combination of the two, because it's a general reading, you can't really pinpoint it too much. You want to move into a place, even though the initial kind of separating yourself from something or someone might be difficult, you want to move into a place where you at least don't have to worry about, where's this relationship going? Where's this job going? When am I going to get this? When am I going to start seeing manifestations so that I can feel more secure about my future? And that's that healing energy. And clarifying it or with it is death, of course, which represents complete endings or complete and utter transformations. I mean, sometimes it's the very act of saying you're leaving, of leaving something, that can actually transform that situation. So there can be a healthier, like reconciliation in a relationship, or going back to a job, or having them make you an offer that you really want. Sometimes not, often not, but sometimes it does. So it could be complete transformation of this situation by saying, I need to leave this because it's not giving me what I want and I'm tired of waiting. And then we have the Hermit with the King of Wands. So the Hermit is about, at least for a time, walking a fairly solitary path or keeping to yourself, because you're trying to gain insight and wisdom by thinking about what you've gone through, thinking about what you want, thinking about how you can make better and different decisions. That's what hermits do. I mean, why do hermits do what they do? Hermits, monks, monastics are the people who choose a very monastic or ascetic life, even for a time. They remove themselves, whether physically or just kind of emotionally, so that they can think about things and gain some insight and wisdom and clarification here. With the Hermit is the King of Wands, which is likely the other person in this situation that's important or relevant. For those of you in a romantic relationship, it might be with a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or somebody who's manifesting like this as well. In work, it might be a boss, or somebody who is in a position of some seniority or status or authority or importance or influence in this situation. Excuse me. For some of you, you might already be in the middle of this, and you may actually have to leave the situation. You may have to leave the situation and go through perhaps sometimes a bit of a painful or challenging healing time before you open yourself up to something new. And that's the difficulty here in going through endings always. It may be that you're making plans to do this, or that you recognize you need to do this, or that you're communicating you need to do this. Let's clarify the overall energy, the Queen of Coins and the Ten of Coins. The Five of Wands, which is conflict. So this is something that you've been arguing about or discussing or disagreeing about or something for some time, because the Five of Wands is conflict, arguing, maybe arguing over the same thing over and over again. The Empress, which is a card of fertility. This is somebody who wants to plant seeds to actually grow something in a very practical and real way. It's also a card that represents that now the time is right to begin to do that. The Six of Cups. This is a card of history, historical attachment. So whether it's a relationship or a job, whatever the person, place, or situation is, I feel like it's something you've been in for quite some time. And whatever the bone of contention is, meaning like, I don't want to have to worry about my long-term stability and security in this situation. I feel like this has been the bone of contention. You've had this discussion multiple times. And you want to have this security. You don't want to have to worry about the future so much in this relationship. You want to have things set so then you can just focus on what's in front of you. Kind of like the children in the Six of Cups. It represents, just going about and enjoying every moment of your day without having a lot of the cares and worries and concerns about the future that we often do as adults. So again, that's the overall energy there. Let's clarify the Seven of Wands, this defensive energy. Death, so we have death twice. The Ten of Wands, because this burden has to come to an end. This is something that's been an issue for quite some time. The Seven of Wands, again, Seven of Wands clarifying the Seven of Wands. And the Ace of Pentacles, I want to start. I want to have the reality of this coming into physical manifestation, this long-term security and stability. I'm not going to back down from it. I'm not going to compromise or negotiate it. I'm worth it, I deserve it, and I'm tired of having to constantly stress and worry and wonder about my future in this situation, this job, this relationship. Let's clarify death. So here we have healing from an ending, yeah. The Six of Cups just flew out, leaving, walking away. Because the next card, of course, after this would be the Nine of Cups, which is exactly what you want. It's abundance, it's wish fulfillment, it's getting what you want. Here in the preceding card, you're turning your back. You're either leaving or turning your back and making plans to leave because you want to go find that Nine of Cups, that wish fulfillment. Clarify death. The Four of Wands, happy home, marriage, home and family, kind of like that picture, that stable, happy home. So for some of you, it might be a relationship issue or a long-term relationship or marriage that may be coming to an end, or you're contemplating bringing it to an end, or you have. Clarify the Hermit. The Ace of Wands, a new beginning. The Knight of Wands, really charging forward after that new beginning. So you've had two aces for clarification and the Empress, which is all about, these are energies that speak of wanting to begin to start off on a path that's actually going to lead to what you want. Not having the message that, either there's been promises made to you about, somewhere in the future, but time goes by and they haven't been fulfilled, or the attitude from the other person, place, or situation has been, well, let's just see how it goes. Let's just take it a day at a time, and time passes and they're still saying the same thing. And you're kind of going off on your own to actually manifest yourself this new beginning. The Ace of Wands and the Knight of Wands are governed by the element of fire. That's what governs the element of Wands. And this is action-oriented, forward-moving. So this is about going off on your own, kind of taking some time to think and contemplate and ask yourself, how you can make better, what have you learned? How can you make better decisions moving forward, and actually being action oriented and intentional about that. Again, I get the feeling that for some of you, and this is a short period of time, 2 weeks, right? Some of you are in the process of this mentally. Some of you are in the process of this physically. Some of you, it's already happened and you're, I kind of get the impression too that if this is a relationship, a romantic relationship, or even a work relationship, I do feel like there's carrying an attachment on the other side too. Just, I don't know, the other side, the other person, place, or situation, there's some kind of block in moving forward into what you want, into actually making a commitment about the future. Let's clarify that King of Wands. Because I feel this King of Wands represents the other person, place, or situation which is relevant here. For some of you, if it's a relationship reading to a romantic relationship, it may be that because of this, the other person decides to just go off on their own. That could be, you could flip that around too. It could be that this King of Wands goes off on his own like the Hermit does and just goes off to pursue whatever. I mean, it could be that. I had a few jump out. The Tower and the High Priestess. The Tower is a complete and final ending. Well, it doesn't, again, it could be like death. I mean, you have death in the Tower here. You had death twice in the Tower, and, these represent major arcana endings. The Tower has to come down, even though on the outside it may look stable. There's some kind of flaw in there, so eventually it would come down anyway. And the High Priestess is your intuition. It's trusting your intuition. It's knowing your intuition. I think you and possibly this other person, place, or situation knew that this was going to happen, that it was inevitable. It was going to come to this sort of thing. And it might be that it has to end so that you can take the lessons that you've learned and you move on in a completely new path. Or it may be that everything needed to come crumbling down so that it could be rebuilt in the same way. Again, for romantic relationships, and we're reading for so many people in general readings, some of you, again, leaving or making the plans to leave and being very open about that might be the thing that transformed the situation, or, it might not be. It might just be that you need to leave it, period, and move on. Let's clarify the Tower and the High Priestess. I want a little bit more here. Ultimately, the Tower represents a potentially life-changing situation. Whatever this relationship is, or this job work situation is, it could be transformed by you leaving or making a commitment to leave. Or maybe not. Maybe you just leave and you're just opening yourself up for what Spirit has in mind for you away from this. Either way, it cannot continue the way it is. It is inevitable that the way it is comes to an end. And I think it feels like both sides here know that. The Knight of Cups. So the Knight comes charging in with an emotional or loving offer. And the World, graduation, moving up to the next level. So, it's the last major arcana card, but it's a card that represents leveling up, elevating. You've graduated and you're moving on to a whole new horizon. Again, for some of you, particularly in a romantic relationship, it might be that this leaving, this ending, might be the thing that transforms the situation and kind of jumpstarts the other person into making that commitment real. Some of you, it might just mean that there is an ending, there's not a transformation of it, but you've learned everything you needed to. It was a really important experience in your life, and you're moving on to something else, somewhere else, because the world is graduation and moving on to new horizons, right? Any final messages or advice for Cancer? The Queen of Cups, there you are, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and the Three of Wands. Watching your ships come in, feeling more hopeful and more positive about the future, beginning to see your efforts paying off. So it's clear to me, Cancer, that whatever this situation is, romantic or a work situation, it's not going to transform by just continuing in the same energy that it is. It's only going to transform by you are making a decision to move into a path that is more in alignment with what you want, and particularly your long-term stability and security. No more promises. I want to actually see this become reality. Whether or not that transforms this current situation into that physical manifestation, or whether or not you just need to go off and just on a completely new, different path, it's not going to be what you want if it continues the way that it is. You need to make a stand here, and you need to stand by that. Because that's what's going to open up your future of abundance here. So Cancer, that is your reading for the first half of May. Kind of intense. I hope that it's been helpful to you, regardless of what decision you make. Food for thought, at least, or some perspective. Again, if you'd like to take a deeper look at something, if this reading resonates with you, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that information by clicking on the little description link below. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the May mid-month reading. Until then, stay safe and well, be blessed. Hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.